Right, I was sent this footage from the Akron Police Department. Somebody, one of my subscribers, shared a link, and the channel is called. I'm not going to repeat that, but you know, if you want to see the whole video without me commentating, that's the channel there. This is a call out to CYRAXX, this house, and this police officer, he's shooting straight here. He's telling Sally and Ed what needs to happen. Now, people have said to me that, you know, that Sally and Ed enable, you know, Chance with his behaviour and stuff like that. The other side of it could be too that, you know, Chance can be violent and they're possibly scared. You know? After all, Sally is 73 years old. She shouldn't have to be putting up with this crap. So let's get into it, folks. It looks like a nice enough neighbourhood. You can see the paint on the roof there.
Starting out today. First call of the day.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going.
Get in there.
Get in there. We want to show you something.
So, you don't even have to show me. I already know.
Okay.
So, from last night? Yeah. So, you know what it's already stemming from. I will just be flat out honest with you guys. You need to get rid of your internet. And this is going
Well,
to...
then how do I pay my bills?
Well, I get that.
Else?
So, the other part of the thing is, you need to... Okay, fine. You need to get rid of his computer.
It's not the police's job to tell them what they need to do. But, you know, in this particular case, I think the police are fed up being called to this house. Now, as I says, I haven't been down the CYRAXX rabbit hole, but I know enough information to know that the police department have been called to their house many times, and you know, I think at this point they're kind of sick of it, you know. But this guy is pretty good at just expressing how he feels about the whole situation and what needs to be done.
That is going to be the only way that all of this shit stops and you guys will be peaceful.
That is very easy to say, but I believe CYRAXX can be volatile. Now, I heard that CYRAXX was violent towards a family member. Was it Sally? I can't remember. But if CYRAXX had his computer taken away or the internet taken away, you know, would these people be scared to do that? You know, at the risk of making CYRAXX volatile and putting themselves at risk. You know, it's a difficult one. Like, I did notice this porch is completely empty. Now these people are at retirement age. They should be out here sitting down and relaxing in the front porch and stuff like that. And there's no furniture here. I believe there was some sort of a swinging chair that was stolen, possibly off the porch and stuff like that. You know, they can't have stuff around because, you know, things are happening. I do believe too that there was a shot fired at Chance's room, and the bullet went into the house. Don't know the full details of that, but you know, if I was in their situation, I would be flipping scared. You know, this kind of situation can't continue, and the police can't keep calling to these people's house. You know, you have to, you know, the police can keep calling and that, but it comes to a point where, listen, we need to sort this out. We need to put an end to this, and this is how we think we can put an end to it. And that's what's happening with this police officer here. You know, trying to find a solution to the whole problem, because at the end of the day, the police have enough things for doing.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you know, it's funny
Absolutely.
Now, if it was your family, what would you do?
Well, I 100%, I would handle business. Okay.
I mean, I'm not his dad. I'm her boyfriend.
Okay, and I get that. So then,
And he is 34 years old.
okay, well then he needs to go. Because, Sally, how many times have we, as a collective, been out here going over the same stuff every single day? And I'm not talking about the alarms and all that, but over the same thing. Because we'll go back from last night with the original call, with the everything. They put it as a check and patrol to keep an eye out on your house. That's why they didn't send anybody out last night. Okay.
Well, we didn't need that until the 21st.
Right. Well, yeah. So that's why they put it out as why nobody came out for you yesterday or last night.
Well, you know, too, last week, now, we didn't call you guys, but there's a big red paint or whatever it is on the roof.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen that on another channel, and yeah, we know what channel that was. Yeah, that apparently was a drone attack on the roof. A glass bottle of paint or something, or a mason jar of paint or something like that was dropped on the roof. Kind of fucked up. You know, these people don't need to be putting up with this. You know, at the end of the day, it's CYRAXX is inside in that house, doesn't leave the house, and is causing all this trouble through the internet. You know, and some way the internet needs to be cut. You know. Ooh, it's a difficult one.
Now, I handed the cop yesterday
Okay.
the lead to it. You know what he did with it? Gave it back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
It's glass that's in the yard that could fly up and hit anybody, and then we can be responsible for that. Am I right?
well, he probably just gave it back to you to throw it away. Because I mean, we're not going to be able to do anything with it. So we'll just document it, and then you guys can dispose of it. That's probably what that was for. But I don't know. I wasn't here yesterday,
Right.
so I couldn't tell you. But that's typically we don't need it.
Right.
All we just need to do is see what was going on, what was it, and then you guys can take care of it from there.
Right.
We won't need it for anything.
Well, now, every time you
That's
guys
what-
come out here, you say you want this.
Well, so, depending on what it is, we can
Okay.
do with it what we need.
You're
Yeah.
saying we never had an address for this guy,
For what? Who?
the person that's doing this.
Okay.
I now have his parents' address,
Parents' address.
and I'm sure they could give it to you guys.
Okay. So what's going on today?
He said they're on the 21st. They're just throw a Molotov cocktail at the porch.
Fucking hell. It must be scary as fuck living in that house. Jeanie Mac. Fucking hell. And you know what? That clown inside in the house, do you know, there's no repercussions for any of this shit. And they have to go through the stress of it. That's the way I can see it as a person that hasn't gone really down this rabbit hole. Do you know? Fucking hell. I mean, their lives of, going through stress because of that idiot inside who can't seem to get off the computer.
So who is this text from?
We don't know.
Okay.
He's somebody that's been helping us all along, but he just doesn't want his name put out there so that...
So you got a text from somebody.
He says he's got his address, Discord or links where they talk about it, they're laughing about it, they're planning.
Yeah, they're like, this is like chat rooms and stuff like that, yeah.
But there's a chat room that not just anybody can get into.
Well, there's different ones. I mean, it's all over the internet.
There are other
they
people.
have pages for chants. I don't know if you're aware of it.
No, I don't get on it.
Okay, well, I mean, they have.
I'm computer dumb.
Like they've got. I'll be honest with you. Like they have. They put it over like the guy that does like the National Discovery, like the BBC guy. They have like a half-hour special on chants. Like they have all these things, and they have like body camera footage from that, like of different times, like we've been out here and all these different things. Like it's a cult following of chants, waiting to see what he does next. And he just keeps posting and posting and posting dumb shit.
The BBC covered him. Fucking hell. Fucking crazy, like. I don't know the half of it. I only know the gist of it, and as bad as it is. Fuck.
And they're waiting for it. So we're getting calls from people from out of state. Like we got one from last night from like a 447 area code.
Well, that could be anywhere.
It can be anywhere. They're wanting welfare checked on chance because they're worried about him because he's doing. And we are up front. Like, what's he doing today? We got another one about chance. I mean, I'm honest with you. When I come out here, it's chance again.
Right. Well, and that's like yesterday. I come walking out here. I lit a cigarette. Turn around. Here they come. And I just looked at them and I started laughing.
I mean, it's because it's never ending because people will go on because they are waiting to see the new post from Chance.
Well, this is something that could actually.
This is something for sure. This is something completely different. Absolutely. So
because I'm ready to. I got a paintball gun in there. I'm ready to go throw.
I get you.
I'm ready to go throw 10 of them in the freezer and then have 10 of them out.
Yeah.
Paintball gun? Yeah, I mean, like, self-defense, possibly. I first time I heard this, I didn't completely understand what he's saying. What he's saying is he's got a paintball gun and he puts the paintballs in the freezer. That is going to make them extra hard. I mean, like, if you get hit by a paintball, it's flipping hurts. And you know what I mean? It's apparently it hurts more than an airsoft gun. But yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with your guys' frustration over the situation.
7 years, dude.
I know.
7 years is too flipping along for this shit, like. And I think at this stage the police just want this sorted. And, the police officer is going to come up with a solution. Now, how we get that solution is another thing. It could happen through a court. It wouldn't be voluntary for Chance to go into some sort of a residential home or whatever. But that was brought up by the police officer and that. There could be a court order. At the end of the day, these people, they're in retirement age. They don't need to be putting up with this crap.
I mean,
come on. How much can you take?
exactly. And that is kind of the point that we're at with you guys is how much are you guys, I mean, you guys have to sit down with him and go, look, man.
He doesn't sit down. He gets up and runs, stomps off again.
Yeah, but
Now,
there's going to be a point
Now,
where...
there was a time that he wasn't on it.
Yeah.
And the same shit happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he says that, you know, there was a time where CYRAXX wasn't on the internet. But the thing is, CYRAXX has already gained this reputation, you know? And even, you know, at this stage, if he comes off the internet, you know, CYRAXX has already doxed his address. Lots of people know where he lives and shit like that. And, yeah, it's turned into a terrible mess. And the longer it's left, the worse it gets. But it's come to a crunch point now where something sort of has to be done. But then again, a lot of these situations, they just go on for years and years and years. Same with, you know, High Street Paranormal. You know? Anybody isn't familiar with High Street Paranormal, I'll leave some links at the end of this video.
It's never
It doesn't matter if we get him off the internet or not, they're still doing it.
Still gonna happen.
But he's some of his posts are getting weirder and weirder. I mean,
I don't doubt it. I mean,
well, yeah. So it's going to get to a point where it gets to if he's going to say or threaten or get to a point where he's going to do things that are a little bit over the top, he may get arrested.
Yeah, the last video I covered might have something to do with it. Don't know the full ins and outs of it. I don't know this other person that was involved in that last video that I covered. But, you know, CYRAXX has done some really dark shit over the years. And it's just a matter of time. I think the police are just waiting to arrest him. Do you know? I don't know how to explain it, but maybe they're hoping that he did something really stupid, that he can get arrested. I think they're just at this point trying to find an excuse so they can deal with the situation, so they don't have to deal with this house anymore.
well, he's never gonna leave the house.
Well, I understand that, but if he's going to do certain things, like he's getting close to showing things that he should be showing on internet, and then he's going to be done, and and you won't be able to help him because he's getting close on some of these posts.
I think they're at this point keeping a close eye. They just want an excuse to get him, because that would be a resolution to all of this, you know. And you got to think too, all these call outs to this house, you know, the police could be somewhere else. So, you know, this is a pain in the ass for them. So they're just going to try and find an excuse to just get him into court, you know. And they'll go through the whole history and that, and they'll probably try and push to get him into some sort of residential home of some kind, you know.
Okay. So I will just leave it at that, and you don't have to imagine what I'm trying to tell you.
I know what you're trying to say.
So as soon as that happens, he's done.
Well, you know, too, I mean, he's done there, but what about the damage? Damage to the house, damage to the roof, damage to the car.
Give me 1 second. This is one of the detectives. All right. So I'm going to see what's going on.
Well, they've already tried to break into the garage.
Okay.
They've already tore down our fence that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently the fence was stolen for some reason.
You know, that's damage, you know?
Yeah.
Stolen stuff off of the porch.
Yeah, and that's...
And then they went over to the lady's house and stole it.
Her mother's
porch swing.
And her mom's dead.
Yeah.
So you know how you would feel about it.
Yeah, right. And there's...
So this is the reason why there's nothing in this porch. Because if they brought out stuff to sit on, it'll probably be stolen. Do you know? And Chance hasn't actually paid for any of this damage or any of these stolen items because he's going to explain that he isn't on any kind of welfare. He gets food stamps. It's flipping nuts.
There's all that, and that's won't have to deal with, and that's somebody else's issue, unfortunately, not your guys's.
Right.
And going through there, but I mean, I can see where it's stemming and going from all that, but then going through with it and it kind of adding to it and
well, too, I mean,
yeah.
too, here's another thing, you know? They shot a gun through his window.
Yeah.
Nobody ever did nothing about that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Do you know, a couple of years ago there was a house down the road and there was shots fired at the house. The whole street was cornered off. The whole flipping street. I was bringing a person home that actually lived on that street and I couldn't get them to their house because the whole place had been cornered off. Do you know? But that's fucking... Do you know... And you know, a bullet going through, is this a full wooden structure? I don't know. Is there bricks behind it? I don't know. But, do you know... Having to put up with that flipping stress of what's going to happen next, it's horrible. And CYRAXX isn't taking any responsibility for any of this.
No, that was wrong. Somebody should have did something.
You're right, and
what if he would have got killed?
And I can't go off of what has the
Right.
prior stuff. I can only go off of what I'm able to kind of help you guys out with and go through there, because I don't know what was done and then what led through. Because if there's not, so like a shot into the house, they only get what they have and then pass it forward, because that stuff goes on the front line with us. We call what we have, we see what we take the pictures and collect that, get that information, and then pass it forward to detectives. And then whatever leads they have, they go through, and then if it runs out, and it kind of just goes to there.
I mean,
so that's our trail, and then from there we do what we can,
right.
and we pass it to where
Right.
it needs to go,
Now,
and then it's kind of, unfortunately, it's out of our hands,
Right.
and it's for the next case, and unfortunately I can't tell you what happens from it
right, well,
after we do our initial.
Now, don't you think that somebody should have came and got the bullet out of the bed?
And like I said, I don't pull that stuff through there unless
That would be the detective, right?
That would be like crime. If it can be found and doing all that, yeah, that would be the next steps, depending on all that.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying.
Yeah, and I get the frustration. I totally do. And like I said, there's, I can't go off of the past and all that.
Right.
I can only go off of
What's
kind of
happening
what the experience is and kind of going through there. Sally, can we look through kind of what's been, like how the text message you got from this anonymous person?
I think some of the past incidents can be brought into a court case if CYRAXX was taken to court, for some of his behaviour or whatever. Some of the past incidents and what has caused a lot of stress in the household can be used as an example of this is how CYRAXX is affecting people. You know, so I think even if there's nothing necessarily done about the the shot fired through Chance's room, it can be brought up as an example. This is what happens because of CYRAXX's behaviour. But then again, you know, you don't have to dig that deep to figure out, CYRAXX's behaviour because it's all over the internet, you know?
That you got for the 21st.
Where'd it go? Where are we at here? What the heck?
Then,
Okay, there we go.
she called, and then I turned around and I called last night.
Do you mind if I scroll through?
Not at all.
Okay.
And the dispatcher said, well, the cops are out eating donuts. And I swear to God, that's what she said. She said that you guys are out eating donuts and doing your
Rounds.
Oh, that dispatcher is going to be in a bit of trouble.
And don't think that...
I wish I had the break to be able to do that.
Now, she said, too, I wouldn't wait up for it.
Really?
Yeah. Now, come on.
What time was that?
That was at 3:30 this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well...
So these people were up at 3:30 this morning ringing the police because of some incident. I mean, like, fucking hell. Did they ever get sleep? And then CYRAXX is upstairs and, nothing's happening. That needs to change, like.
I'll have to pass that along to our radio room sergeant then. Because that's
she shouldn't have been like that.
No, that's inappropriate. And I apologize that a call taker was talking like that. And I mean, that's... Okay, 721 Mart. Do you know who Marty is? Who's Marty?
Marty is the one that's doing all...
They're going back and... Him and Chance are going back and forth online?
Yes.
Okay. Then who's Nicholas?
That's Marty's real name.
Okay.
And then there's Nicholas, that's his father, and a Wendy, that's his mother.
I mean, we don't... I don't know. It's just frustrating with everything else that's going on top of it.
See, Marty's wanting to buy this house.
Ooh. Marty apparently is CYRAXX's biggest troll. And he actually doesn't live in the same state. That's all I know about him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's demented.
Okay.
Then that one guy...
So this is from Illinois. So they live out in Illinois. So this guy's going to come from Illinois.
No, he's probably going to pay somebody to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, he paid somebody to do the paint thing on the roof.
And the landlord don't even know about the paint yet.
So...
I mean, really,
Do you know, CYRAXX is upstairs on his computer, whatever he's flipping doing, and, he doesn't have to repair any of the damage that has been caused because of him. Do you know? Because he's too fucking lazy, like.
I shouldn't be saying anything.
You're fine.
But I feel we should do something to protect ourselves.
Yeah, no, and I 100%. So this, here's a screenshot. So why is he sending you screenshots of the other person he got? Why not send the screenshots of the person? This,
I don't know.
it doesn't make sense to me. But that's why I'm trying to.
Well, there's two of them. There's Marty, and then there's the other one. What's the other one's name?
Glory hole.
Yeah,
William
Glory
Glory hole.
That's them two talking.
Yeah.
No, that ain't them two talking. Where's that one where they talking back and forth?
I don't know.
This guy?
Yeah, so the
Oh dear.
so right.
I mean, I wouldn't want your guys' job for the world.
Yeah.
Your guys' the fire department and
So
the EMT guys.
so right now.
Yeah, well, you know, the cops, they're doing their job and stuff like that, but, you know, when something is a repeated problem over and over again, they're going to have to try and find a solution, and that's where this guy is trying to say to these people, this has to fucking stop, you know? And he's right.
That's three jobs I wouldn't want.
I get it. So right now, and this is the thing that's so odd, is that he's sending you using your content without permission. I mean, anybody can do that. That's not your content. That's Chance's stuff.
Well,
But the only they do is.
Chance tried to get that stuff, and Chance couldn't get that stuff because they had a block on.
Yeah, so I mean that's an issue with online stuff that he'd have to do. That's not anything.
he's been trying to deal with.
That's not an issue with me. That's a once it's out on the internet, that's on the internet. He'd have to go through the internet people, the internet police or whatever.
Right.
That stuff to be able to get his stuff back.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, you have to go through fair use law, and it's not criminal law, it's a kind of a civil thing, and blah, blah, blah.
So that's not anything that I can help him with.
Right.
But going back to this, part of the issue is that he's like, so he sent the address of the dad's office, which really doesn't matter. Then he's sending about this other guy that he took down, which doesn't do anything to help you out. And then he sent this other stuff that's isn't doing anything also. It's not making any type of threats, anything at all. It's just saying like, hey, when's his next post coming? I want to watch. Basically, like I told you from the beginning, is that there is a cult following waiting for Chance to put something up because they love to watch it and then just make fun of him. And like this. Your meds. Yeah, that's all they're saying. It's just your meds. And like I said, there's a cult following. They love to do that, and then they just love to go on and make fun of him constantly.
You know, just a reminder on the phone to take her meds. You know, God knows what kind of, medical issues this woman has, and then she has to fucking put up with being responsible for Chance. It just isn't right. You know, she can't cope. It's obvious she can't cope. Now, maybe, people say, oh, well, she's just as bad for, letting him do things or whatever, and that. She's probably afraid to challenge him. The police officer is trying to tell them that he has to be challenged. If he's not going to be challenged, he's going to continue doing the shit that he's doing. But, you know, these people, Sally and Ed, challenging CYRAXX, could lead to a volatile situation, and that's possibly why they put up with the shit that they have to put up with. You know? It's a difficult one. Then again, I don't know. Do you know? If I'm completely wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. Do you know? I don't, I'm not the type of person to be surrounded by yes people. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Like I said, it says they just want to watch
How do
because
you
they
throw
love.
your own kid that you know couldn't make it out on the streets out?
Well, you won't know.
Because he's not all there, you know.
Well, yeah, but you know what? There's also like group homes and things like that.
Yeah. Now, Ed said that he's not all there. Do you know, there's plenty. CYRAXX doesn't leave the house, and that's why, he's got skin issues and that. The skin doesn't get fresh air, doesn't get sunlight and that, and that's where, that's where he's having these kinds of problems and that. But him being in that house, he's going to stay there. But if he's out in the real world, defending for himself, he doesn't have those, probably doesn't have those skills, those social skills, those life skills, and maybe a residential home of some kind would be the best thing for him, where there can be professionals at hand to help him with his difficulties and stuff like that. Because these people can't provide that kind of support for him at this point. Do you know?
To try to get him there. But he also needs to go and try to get medications and caseworkers and get mental health assistance. But he has to be able to do that. And being a recluse, staying inside, is not going to be good for him.
Right. Well, that's pretty much all it does.
Right. And so obviously, what he's doing is not good for him, and it's 100% not good for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's stressing us up.
Right. And so, and I'm trying, I'm not even doing it as a police officer. I'm trying to do it as a parent, as a community member, as just a neighbor, as a friend for you guys. Is that you guys have to get to the point where your health is more important, okay? Because I don't want to see you guys get to the point where the stress, the anxiety, everything wears you guys down, and you guys have a mental, not even a mental health, but like a serious health issue, stroke, heart attack,
Right.
anything.
Or mental health issue. Because that stress would stress anybody out.
Thing like that, and you guys, God forbid, collapse, break down, and something seriously happens to you because of all this unwanted stress, and health declining because of all this unwanted, unnecessary happening, and I hate for that to happen to you guys. I know in the heart of hearts you guys are trying your best and just wanting to be left alone. I truly believe that. And I know, and you guys have been nothing but great. And every time I've come out here talking with you guys and understanding, and that's why I've tried and been nothing but just having great talks with you guys and just been super cool and super relaxed with you guys.
Right.
And conversations that the few times I've talked to Chance have not been that. Because he does it to himself. He does. And if you go on and look, I mean, you have your phone, and you just pull it up, and you type his name in. It just pours out.
Yeah.
Like, they have clothing line. I mean...
I know. I have a T-shirt of his.
Yeah.
That somebody sent me.
Yeah. They've made puppets. They've made...
Puppets.
I mean, it is, you know, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
How that's like a cult following of like, and it's not really like good, it's kind of dumb, but people are obsessed with it, and they go everywhere when that thing plays. And it's, what is that, the 70s?
Yeah, yeah.
And people still dress up and go to it.
I was a server.
Yeah.
Waitress, and I served their group when they came in.
Yeah. I mean, it still gets crazy when they play it at the theaters.
Yeah.
And it shuts it down. That's Chance. With everything.
Yeah. Chance is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, lolcow on the internet. That little guy that's upstairs that doesn't leave his house. It's fucking crazy, like. Do you know? And he hides up there in his room. These people have to put up with the consequences of all of that. Do you know?
I mean, but I'll document this stuff to kind of see. But if his name's Nicholas in there, and we'll keep you guys an eye out on the house as always.
Appreciate it.
And I mean, having the camera up is going to help you as well. I mean,
that's coming down.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, we're having problems with the company.
Yeah, and I know that, especially with the alarms going off.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, I went off on them last night.
Yeah.
2 hours on the phone with the higher ups. He finally had to hang up on me. He couldn't take it no more.
They said that they had to review her not wanting it no more. And I told them, I said, look, this is not our problem. This is your guys' problem.
When we got it, we were told that we had a month to decide whether we liked it or not. And they would...
Yeah, but you can get security cameras that you don't need a subscription to. You know? You know, there's a guy downstairs earlier on, he was installing good quality cameras. There's no subscription to it. I have security here, no subscription to it. As long as you're able to document, the goings on your property, you know. I take it as some sort of company like Ring or something like that. You know, I don't want extra bills, so I go for a subscription-free service. Something that can records on your phone, records on an SD card, and if anything happens, you got the footage. That's all you need it for, you know. You know, you don't need to be paying every month if you haven't, if you're struggling and stuff.
take it down.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Here's the month, and
here's what happened. They set up an appointment with us.
Mm-hmm.
They never showed up. They set up another appointment with us.
Between the hours of 8 and 5. Right?
They didn't show up either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, by all rights, well, we got to go through this. I said, no, we don't. It took, 15, 20 minutes. I told him, I said, by law, if I ask you to speak to your supervisor, you have to give me your supervisor. I mean, it was...
I'll hand you that back, Sally. Thank you.
It was...
Yeah, I get it. So let me... just for shits and giggles, just for you.
You know, they didn't even set the damn thing up right anyway. One of the sensors that they put in the door, they drilled the hole too big. So the sensor didn't stay in the hole.
Yeah.
What good's that?
So, this is just in my phone. Okay. I type his name in. Okay. And this is... I'll just type it in. So we'll do that. And we'll type his stuff in. Okay. I mean, he just goes through and he's going through there. I mean, he's going all of this stuff. We'll go through his, I mean, and then they have like shirts. And I just type his stuff in. Okay, and then he just, like, you can find stuff. Yeah, so, like I said, there's a following.
Right.
And you go down the rabbit hole, like, that's not even that's just the regular Google. Like, I didn't go to the pictures,
right,
the video section. That's just, I put his name in. So, so those are those situations that ultimately you guys have to decide. What is going to, Sally has to decide. But but you've been living here long enough to kind of help as an outside looking in. Okay, even put it like that, of the wear and tear that's been going on. Okay. And seeing this from an outsider looking at it. And even go that route with it. And kind of how it's affecting everyone. And you can even see like how it's affecting Chance from everything. Because you know he's just going to brush it off like no big deal. And he's going to stay in his tower. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But even you, Sally, can say and try to just push it this way, is that, look, something has to change. Either you need to start going out to talk to somebody, because the internet people to talk to is not the option.
He claimed that he had some sort of therapist, right? And his therapist had encouraged him to use the internet to vent his frustrations, because that's a healthy thing to do. There's no therapist that's ever going to recommend that. So that was a lie. And Sally's going to tell us that Chance hasn't got a therapist. You know, it's a common thing with these kinds of people. They are serial liars and extremely bad at it. You know, and they'll still deny stuff, even if it's, you know, we point out that this is where you lied. You know, similar to High Street Paranormal. He lies all the time. We point out the lies. And then he makes up some sort of excuse. Oh, that was years ago or whatever. That was a couple of months ago. It just doesn't matter. That's them just shoving it off because they don't have an answer.
Don't want to talk.
Well, is he on medication?
No.
Well, maybe getting him down to talk to somebody else. Trying to get him on meds.
We had him appointment before each pass, but he wouldn't go to it.
Okay.
So that's part of the problem too. I mean, you know, he's over 18.
He's an adult. Yeah. But
and you can't make him go.
Well.
I mean.
Yeah, but if they're not of sound mind, can something else be? Can that be grounds to intervene? Do you know? Because I think, you know, at this end of the world, if a person isn't of sound mind, being over 18 doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Do you know?
And, you know, I mean, when I first moved in here, me and him went around and around about the way he was talking.
Yeah.
You know?
And he never leaves the house for anything.
Nope.
Never get him outside for
Nope.
anything.
The first time in a long time I got him to go 2 weeks ago to the doctor's,
Okay.
and that was it. He's back up in his room. He does not
What'd you
go
get him
out.
to the doctor for?
His skin problem.
Okay.
And we got the butt, his trunk cleared up. We're still working on the ones on his head.
Okay.
He's got eczema.
Eczema.
Yeah, eczema.
Okay.
That's
Dermatitis.
Yeah.
That's what's the word I'm looking for?
That's because he doesn't go outside. He doesn't see the daylight. So that's
yeah.
part of it too.
There's no cure for it, they say.
Yeah. Well, eczema's not. It's just dry skin and like severity of it.
Yeah.
But you can even like look. You need to, and you can even tell him like the doctor called, and like, hey, you need to start getting some sunlight, vitamin D or vitamin K, and just like you need sunlight. So like every so often you need to come outside.
Do you know this cop is going over and beyond his line of duty here? He's turned off being a police officer and is trying to talk to them as a friend. He's actually doing a great job here. But, is it going to make any difference? I don't think so. But, by the looks of things have to change. Now, just earlier on, Ed was mentioned about the over and back between him and CYRAXX about how he treats and talks to Sally, which is elder abuse. The situation is very serious. So is that elder abuse continuing? It's we can know certain things through the internet, but when the cameras are off, we don't know anything about that, and that's the scary part of something like this.
It's going to be a fight. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fight.
And then
He starts yelling at her, and then they get me riled up, and then
yeah.
I gotta stick with her,
But then, so he needs to start doing that. But then eventually, it's going to be the point where, like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. You need to spread out and go on your own. Find an apartment, because he's getting what? Social Security disability.
No.
He gets nothing.
He gets nothing. He gets food stamps.
Food stamp. Well, Sally, cut him off. Cut him off. He needs to start paying his own then. He's 34. He needs to start paying rent.
That's what I've been telling him all these years.
He needs to start paying rent. He doesn't want to do it. Okay. Then evict him out of here. Send him on his own.
Don't you have to go through the court system to...
Yep. Go down and evict him. Give him his 30 days. You don't want to do that. You need to start paying me rent. Well, I don't have money. Okay. But guess what? You have all these computers. You have all this technology stuff. You can start selling that off. Start paying me rent. Then, well, I don't want to do that. Okay. Here's your 30-day eviction notice. You got 30 days. After 30 days, you will be removed. And you'll be on your own. Unless you want to start doing support services. Going to the doctor. Going to mental health services.
Now that's all.
That's
30. Now 30 days is it?
Yeah, it's a 30-day eviction. That's the most. After 30 days, then the courts officers can physically remove him from the property. So they do a 3-day notice, like, hey, just be aware, I'm going to be serving you. They do a 7-day. But then you go up, you have to pay to do the eviction because you have to process it and everything at the courts.
Right.
The 30 days, the official, you have to serve him in person, which he's not going anywhere, so it'll be easily be served.
Well,
Here's your eviction.
well, this too. Now you got to
Yeah.
put this in progress too. Right now, I'm not working.
That's okay. Yeah.
I mean,
so
it's everything's
Yeah.
on her.
yeah. So that'll be kind of those type of things that.
Because I got surgery.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Fusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from C2 to T2.
Woo. Get plates. Get a
Yeah,
titanium.
well, my fingers were going numb from
Yeah.
ear to here.
Okay. So Sally, those would be those things then you kind of work at that system, okay? And maybe that'll start, you need to start paying rent. Well, I don't want to pay rent, I don't have money. Start selling your computer stuff, because that's, if he has all the gamer stuff, that's expensive stuff, right?
Here's the thing, you know, would Sally be strong enough to do that? I don't think so. Because, you know, there is a history of abuse and stuff like that. So, you know, that's not it, you know. It's very easy saying that, but, and it is a solution. But Sally has to be strong enough to carry this through. And is she, you know, are they going to be in a similar situation in a year's time? There's a possibility. But, you know, I know that at some stage the cops are going to be pretty pissed off having to spend so much time at this house.
Right? I mean, if you paid for it, then you know that's expensive. Go in that route. If that's, then we're going to start evicting. And then you can start working it that way. Ultimately, or if you don't want to do that, and you want to stay, oh yeah, ooh, oh yeah. So then you start doing those type of things. Maybe start working it. Okay, well, what do I need to do? You know what? You need to start going to therapy. Start going taking medication. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, then I'm going to serve you an eviction. And start giving him ultimatums. You can choose. I'll let you choose what you want to do.
Well, then, too, you got to hear all the yelling and screaming.
If you guys get into an argument and get into these verbal fights, that's what we're for. We'll come in and start talking and doing this stuff, and it's going to be the same conversation that we're going to do and advise you, like, you need to do this. And if you can't take these arguments carrying on, doing all that stuff, then he wants to bitch and moan and about that stuff, then it's time for him to go.
Do you know, I wouldn't often say this about the police, but this guy's a legend, you know? He fucking really has his head screwed on at this, with this situation.
And do that paperwork. So unfortunately, Sally, I think you're at your crossroads with him, and I know he's your boy and everything, but I think ultimately your well-being is going to be number one, because you won't be able to take care of him if you're not going to be around.
Exactly, yeah.
Ultimately. And you don't want to have, I don't know what your health is like, but...
Mine's my health is fine.
Okay.
You know, she's 73 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you can't look after somebody else unless you look after yourself first. You know?
Hey, don't push it.
I wouldn't have.
Only 72.
Okay, I never would have thought that, so. But ultimately, you know, one ill-happened issue will change that. And I don't want that for you guys. So, I mean, I'll put everything in for you as far as this stuff goes. We'll keep you around there, especially the weekend. So I think 21st is this
Sunday.
week is Sunday. So I'm working this weekend, so we'll be around for sure. And we'll keep an eye on your place.
Do you know, it's not the cop's job to be security guard for people's houses. You know, this is what I'm trying to, you know, get across here. Yes, there's a situation at this particular property, but this can't be a long-term thing. Do you know? If it's a temporary situation, yeah, but a long-term, no. That's why this cop is trying to, you know, come up with a situation to change this. They can't just keep continuing just to protect this house. You know, what he's doing is he's trying to tackle the source here, and he's trying to get Sally to get to the source, because that's what has to change. It's the source that has to change. You know, you can't keep going around in circles. We know about going around in circles with Cecil. You know, you have to get to the source, and you have to change that source in order to move forward. They can't spend all their time protecting this house. They have other things to flip and do.
I don't think that there's a cop that hasn't been here.
Why? There's not. I mean, and we regularly work the area, so definitely around. And like I said, this is first stop on my day. So I'm here till 9. I'll be around.
Okay.
Anything else, and if you have any more issues or anything like that, call. Any more texts or anything like that, give us a call. And any issues with Chance or anything, call. We'll be around.
Okay.
Okay? Hopefully that kind of answers everything. Any other issues, questions, anything I can try to help you out with before I head out.
Unfortunately, you can't
Okay.
tell me how it's going to hurt.
It sucks. It does. It's not pleasant.
I adopted him as a baby.
Yeah. But
My thinking is,
he's in his nest in the tree. But sometimes those baby birds have got to fly. He's not an ostrich. He's not a penguin. He's a bird, and it's time for him to learn to fly.
Do you know? I didn't know this complete story about, Sally and Chance and that. And she just says that she's adopted him as a baby and that. I don't know what happened to his real mother or whatever. But, she's breaking down there. So, she obviously loves him. But in order to, sometimes you have to demonstrate tough love. And I don't think Sally's going to be able to do that. What this police officer was showing is tough love. That's what he was demonstrating. This is sometimes what we have to do in order to make things better. She's going to need assistance in yes, she has to make the decisions and that. But I think she's going to need a lot of help with that. So I don't think she's strong enough to carry out what was suggested to her, and that is to evict Chance from the house, because she's going to be worried what's going to happen to him. She wants to make sure that he's looked after or whatever, and probably evicting him from the house isn't going to be a solution. But professional help would be. Daycare, some sort of residential or day services, where there's professionals that are able to help him, because Sally's not qualified to deal with a mental health issue like this. This is kind of why I haven't really covered CYRAXX, because I know it's a very sort of difficult situation with these people right here and stuff like that, But, it can't go on any longer. Especially, these people are in their retirement age. They should be enjoying life and stuff like that, and then have to put up with all this crap. It's just wasting life, wasting time. It's stressful. It's daily stress. It's daily worry. It's horrible.
So maybe it's sometimes to spread his wings, okay? But keeping him and letting him stay up there ultimately is causing more harm than good, because he can't fend for himself, and he has to be able to start being able to do things on his own, because unfortunately he doesn't know how to interact with anybody.
this cop he has it down to a T. He really flipping knows, you know, and he's gone beyond his line of duty when it comes to this, you know. And I think he done a very good job in talking to these people and telling them exactly how it is, kind of thing. It's been, it's been an eye opener, and it's been, pretty good. I know it's the way Sally is looking right now. It's draining her. Fucking hell. I don't know the whole ins and outs of all this, but I'm feeling sorry for Sally and Ed. People would say, yeah, well, they allow him to do things and stuff like that. They're probably fucking terrified of the guy. I've heard of CYRAXX, I've seen CYRAXX on videos, and there's holes in the wall and stuff like that. And apparently he's been punching walls and stuff. He's got a temper. He's got an uncontrolled temper. So, they're probably scared of him. I know I'm repeating myself.
And I think that is what's kind of hurting a lot of this situation. And I think if he can start talking to people face to face and kind of going through a lot of this and handling some of his mental health issues, I think you'll see a change, and I think that change will be good for him and for you guys.
Some of the mental health services here, there's residents here that have mental health issues, and they are taken out, and they get some sort of education and interactions with other people, and then they're taken on, outings, educational outings and stuff like that to try and improve their life in some way. And I know CYRAXX has a history of bad behaviour and that, but these people aren't going to be the ones that are going to be able to change that. It's going to be mental health services and professionals,
But until that happens, unfortunately, this is going to continue, and it'll only get worse until something drastic happens or someone gets hurt. And I don't want it to be you guys. And I don't want something to where you guys hurt someone and then your world changes. Because like I said, you guys are great people, and I don't want something defending you guys because of something Chance is doing affect your guys' livelihood and your guys' lives because of something, the choices that he's making affecting you guys.
Right.
So I know it's rough, and I'm not trying to upset you and hurt you, Sally. I'm not. I'm just trying to give you guys options and help you the best way that I can by laying everything out option-wise and kind of giving you what's been going on and what's kind of out there that if you guys aren't aware of.
I kind of noticed the police officer's voice kind of breaking a little bit. I think he's upset too. But, he's done a fucking great job with this. He done a really good job with this. And maybe they would be able to help them further down the line to try and sort this thing out. Because, Sally is leaning up against the front of the house there, and she's in tears, and she's upset and stuff. She's going to need some sort of help in order to sort out this situation, because she's not going to be able to do it on her own. She can't just go into the house and say, CYRAXX, you got 30 days. Do you know? Because, yeah, I mean, like, you can imagine somebody that is that unstable. You don't know what they're going to do, and that's what they're probably living with on a daily basis. It's horrible.
And kind of why all this is happening. The why, mostly, that this is happening. Because there is a why. So, alright guys. Alright, well I hope you guys do have a better day with everything. And like I said, I will be around. If you guys need anything else whatsoever, please give me a call. Okay? Alright guys, have a good one. Take care.
Whew. That was tough. You know, and it's the thing too, you know, people like High Street. You know, Hetty, you know, I know Hetty is sick of fucking Cecil's rants in his kitchen and the shite he puts out on the internet. Don't think she's fully aware of some of the stuff that he puts out there and that. But she doesn't help. And I know at one or two stages she says, you know, to stop this shit, you know, and it stops for a bit, and then it's back to the same old shit again. Do you know? I mean, like, is Cecil bullying Hetty when she comes up with stuff like that? I know she can give out to him. She gave out to him recently about the the piercing gun, and she gave him a mouthful, you know, and Cecil wanted to do a 1 minute live trying to be funny in that, and we got the tail end of what she was saying to him, and that she's well able to give out to him and that. But then again, she's not responsible for him, you know? You know, that was a tough one. But that cop, I thought, you know, fucking fair play. Fair play. Because that kind of advice and stuff like that, that was going beyond his duty. You know, that's not the police officer's job to go to that level of advice and that. I think you've done a great job. Is it going to help? Don't know. But I think I've been on long enough with this one, and I'm going to leave it now. And yeah, talk to you again soon. Most likely soon if Cecil does some more kitchen rants and that. But anyway, talk to you again soon. I'll leave some links at the end of this video here on playlists on High Street Paranormal if anybody isn't familiar with them. So, bye bye.